Mozambique, Angola, Rwanda, Nigeria, Morocco, Tunisia, and Ghana.
A true born African.
So, meine liebe Damen und Herren, wir kommen wieder bei Afrika TV und heute, wir haben es gesagt, wir sagen es wieder, immer wieder und zurück zu Afrika-Wurzel. Wir haben vor kurzem über Covid geredet und diese Pandemie. Und viele Menschen haben sich die Frage gestellt, was ist mit Afrika los? Oder bald Afrika wird kollabieren. Afrika steht noch. Aber es gibt jede Menge von Geheimnissen und einige von diesen Geheimnissen, viele in Afrika haben wieder mal gelernt, mit ihrer Natur zu leben. Und deswegen kommen wir zurück. Vor kurzem haben wir einen Film angeschaut und dieser Film läuft noch und dieser Film redet über Fieber. Und diese Filme, vielleicht diejenigen, die noch nicht gesehen haben, habe ich mir gedacht, ich lade die Produzenten, die Regisseure hier im Studio und dann fragen wir, was steckt hinter einem Film namens Fieber. Du bist Katharina, oder?
Katharina Weingartner, ja.
Und du hast diesen Film gemacht,
ja.
gedreht. Mhm. Und wer bist du noch, Katharina?
Ich bin unter anderem Gärtnerin, Hobbygärtnerin. Und ich habe mich schon lange mit einer Pflanze beschäftigt, die Artemisia heißt. Ich bin auch Regisseurin und habe diesen Film gemacht über Malaria.
Und in diesem Film that we're talking about today, yeah, we have a guest from Africa, from Uganda, to translate my program in English, and they welcome you, lady.
Thank you very much.
How are you then?
I'm good, dear.
You are coming from Uganda?
Yes, exactly.
And present you a little bit, please.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm Rehema Namialo. I'm from Uganda. I'm practicing herbal medicine. I'm a herbalist by profession, and at the same time an agriculturalist. So I'm working on the grassroots level where people really are in need of herbal medicine, and the majority will have high percentage of people really living in the rural communities where a high kind of medication is not accessible, and malnutrition and poverty. So I decided to practice herbal medicine, and Artemisia annua plant is one of the
we shall learn more about you in the film, because when you come out to the film, let me come back. How did you meet Katharina?
I found Rehema through a wonderful scientist from Oxford University, actually, who has studied how she works and was so impressed with her, how she treats people for malaria, that he recommended that I should meet her. So I went all the way to Uganda to meet Rehema. And the minute I met her, I knew she was the star of my movie.
We're now talking about the movie Fieber. Can you tell us a little bit what is about this film?
Well, it really centers around people like Rehema. Rehema is the main figure in the film, and we follow her around in her village and look exactly at how she treats malaria with this wonderful plant here. But there's also Patrick Ogwang, a pharmacologist from Uganda, and there is also a biologist from Kenya. And they all look for simple local solutions for this pandemic that kills 500,000 of children every year. This is basically the content of the Fieber, and it is critical of the way malaria has been dealt with internationally for we can almost say centuries, right?
Yeah, it is.
And how many people have died.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about malaria, and many discussions have been, people have discussed about COVID, and the COVID, and now we have vaccine within 1 year. And we have medicines, but malaria is existing, and I know myself because I come from Africa, and until now we don't have product against malaria. The question is how it can be possible when some people they say there is a result. Also, tell us, Rehema, is true? Does it is possible to deal with malaria in Africa?
Yes, exactly, because it is true in the following sense. One, Artemisia plant can be grown by local people, by everybody, and it can be cheap and locally got, rather than looking for high kind of expensive anti-malarial treatments, which is not locally available to everyone. So I found out that it's really possible to deal with malaria, eradicate malaria completely, because it's a cleanser. It can wash out all the malaria parasites in the body. And I'm saying this out of 18 years experience when I'm treating this, and many lives have been saved when I'm treating the local communities with Artemisia.
Do you treat people?
Yes, I treat people.
How do you do that?
I give them Artemisia tea, and at the same time I give them the Artemisia plants to grow. So they grow it and they use it by themselves.
And how do you know that they are safe?
Of course. Have you ever contracted malaria yourself?
Not, but my neighbors.
I'm speaking of experience, because
my neighbors,
myself and my family and the local community where I live, malaria is a common illness that we have in Africa, especially in Uganda, and many people used to die of malaria. So when I work with science, with the Hans Martin and Keith Lindsay, and we come up with the proper prescription of how the proper dosages can be given, administered using Artemisia. So we give the proper dosages, and within 7 days treatment course, malaria parasites is washed out of the body completely. So we've treated so many people using Artemisia tea. So we prepare it, we grow it, and we prepare it very well, and we make proper dosages, and we treat people, and adults and children.
Do you treat also COVID?
Of course, because in Uganda, COVID used to be, symptoms of COVID, we used to have it. It's like, we are not worried so much of COVID, because it's like, used to be the common kind of illness we used to have. And we used to say that this is this proper stronger cough that kills elderly people. So the way COVID came is like the same common way we used to treat stronger coughs and flu. So when we're using Artemisia tea, we treat, like locally, we administer it in the same way. So we give Artemisia tea for stronger coughs and flu. We do the inhalation process. Then you cleanse out the lungs. Then you take the tea, you take out all the cold and fever. So we are not really worried of COVID when we have the Artemisia tea. So we treat the symptoms of COVID.
So I think
exactly.
People are also watching some movies, and they can understand what you are saying. But let's come back to you, Katharina. I call you with the pronoun because we know each other. So the question is, and how did you think to make a film about it?
About Artemisia, you mean?
Yeah, about this malaria problematic.
I experienced it myself a long time ago when I was filming in Ghana. Our film team took it also prophylactically against malaria. And then I started the research, and I researched in China and Vietnam. And I went back into history. This has a very long, 2,000 years of usage in China. And I became very interested in this subject. And then I did my first research trip in East Africa. And when I saw what's going on in the hospitals there, with the medicines that often don't work anymore, old medicines like chloroquine, or and the desperation of the people who couldn't afford the medicines, or then I decided, okay, I let all the history of malaria on the side, and I put people who really have solutions for this, but who are not tolerated by the pharmaceutical industry. And I bring this fight David against Goliath, and she's our David in this case, into the center.
So you want to show that there are solutions, but all these solutions, people, they don't want to improve them. Is your objective?
Well, who do you mean when you say people?
Let's say, you're right. Let's say we have Rehemas people. And I think Rehema is not the only one. When I go in Cameroon, I will see a priest there. When I go in Madagascar, I will meet Rehema there. So we have Rehemas.
Yeah, we have a few Rehemas
in Africa.
Yeah,
and you
exactly.
have pharma industry who have power.
Yeah.
Do you want to show that there is a competition or a conflict?
Exactly. Our film is about this conflict, but we decided that we don't, for a change, we don't let the usual suspects explain their way of dealing with malaria, but we bring these other players into the picture. Who usually, the people who deal with malaria usually don't get the center of attention in a documentary film. So we wanted to bring the East African perspective. And we ran into big problems with this idea that we let people like Rehema speak for themselves. That was not very welcome in the German and Swiss TV stations that supported our film. They are not showing our film.
So I know that some more TVs don't show your film. But before I come back to the question why, let me come back to you, Rehema. And how is affordable your prices? How people can get your medicines? Is it free of charge or?
Not really. I would not say that it's free of charge, but it's really cheap and it's affordable. As I said earlier, that we work in the grassroots level where people are really poor. If it's expensive, they can't manage. So, and again, we said, of course, the people who can pay, really can pay something affordable towards the development of the work. But we make it available to everyone that they can even grow it in their gardens and they can use it, local, available and cheaply. So make life simple as much as possible.
Yeah, but Rehema, you are from Uganda.
Yes.
And Katharina is from Austria.
Yes.
Do we need somebody coming from abroad to come in order to support you showing your product? Or what is happening? What didn't you do yourself in your country?
No, it's not easy. The point is, it's not easy to mention.
Very complicated question.
Very complicated question. But the point is, we need to disseminate information. Uganda looks so small, but not small per se, the way it is. And we need to disseminate information such that everyone can be helped. And in this regard, our government may not be in support of like financial support that you go and help such and such a community to teach them or train them or give out stuff. So here we need the help of Katharina from Austria, like financially support Rehema. Please use transport and collect enough seedlings, take it to the other part of Uganda and maybe help that community.
I saw the movie.
Yes.
And I saw that you was willing to manufacture your product so they can be sold in many countries. And but let's come back this time to you, Katharina. When I watched the movie and when I make the first interview with you, you told me that there are many complicated issues. Can you help us to understand these complicated issues?
That you have a few hours. It's very complex. I don't quite understand what I got myself into here. First of all, it took me 7 years to finish this film because there's so much resistance against within even the film community. We are not used to having Africans speak for themselves. We have so many critical documentaries in Europe, but there's hardly anywhere where the people who really are in the middle of the cause actually can articulate their own solutions or their own ideas or their own criticism. So that I ran into some problems with my finances because I said, no, I don't want any white scientists in the film. Our team wanted only East Africans in the film. That was number one, the problem. The second problem was that it seems like the pharmaceutical industry is very powerful and also has a strong influence on the WHO. The WHO doesn't allow this plant because they bring an argument that has never been scientifically proven, that because this plant contains artemisinin, and the drug that is mostly made by Novartis also contains artemisinin. Now they say that if you take the plant, you make the drug, you make the parasite resistant against the drug. It's a little bit complicated. They say that you ruin the effectiveness of the drug, which has never been proven. So with this argument, recently they also, even I already had the permission from the Uganda Media Council. A month ago they told me we cannot show the film in Uganda.
But I saw the film, and I saw it show us some medicine companies in Kenya who has supposed to be the biggest problem. What is that?
They cannot produce it, no. In
No,
Kenya.
no, say there are those who are being a big problem for production for such program. Those who are in Kenya, which is the company producing the medicine from India or somewhere like that. What is this?
No, it's a Kenyan company, but they are ready to produce malaria medicines. But because the European or the Western companies don't want to share this market, the WHO doesn't give them the permission to produce it. They don't procure it.
What is the concurrence companies, international company?
Well, mostly in this case of malaria, it's Switzerland who makes the money off of malaria. But now it's also Indian and Chinese companies. But for a long time it was exclusively a deal between the WHO and Novartis, that Novartis can sell Coartem, which is a artemisinin combination therapy, to the whole continent for 10 years exclusively. And that is something I criticize heavily. That, you know.
So let's now come to the point. That is it's the last part of our program today. What do you wish? What are you looking for? Why are you here?
Yes, I'm looking really for support from Europe.
What kind of the support you need? Is the money to produce more Artemisia? Is the money to have cars? What do you want?
No. Actually, I need.
No, she travels on Boda.
I'm traveling on Boda, but actually, I need support, like money, to help me or enable me disseminate the information to save many lives in Uganda. Many people are dying of malaria, poor nutritional what. So in Uganda, we run seminars, training seminars, and we really need accessible support to reach out to many other communities so that many lives can be saved. And this money cannot be raised in Uganda. So if I can have support from Austria, that would be a great help to poor Ugandans.
And when you are saying this as African, I will say, why don't you go to National Uganda Broadcasting Corporation and talk about it?
I tell you, do you know what is happening in Uganda, my dear?
They will disseminate it in 1-2 days more.
Wow. The issue in Uganda is quite complicated, you know. Uganda, the gap is like, the rich gap and the very poor gap is level is really very big. The rich ones doesn't think that the poor ones are suffering and dying for helplessly.
But journalists who are working for everybody.
No, my dear, it's not easy. Otherwise, if that would be there, I wouldn't have come here. You know. So we really need help. Honestly speaking, that many lives can be saved just at the grassroots, you know, where people doesn't have enough help can be helped.
Because the plant also works really well prophylactically.
Yes, you can use it prophylactically and you can use it as a treatment.
There are schools, kindergartens, orphanages. When you give this tea to the children twice a week, they don't get malaria. This has been proven in Kenya, Tanzania,
and Uganda. We have so many schools that we have introduced, school gardens, and schools are using the artemisia prophylactically twice a week or once a week. So the cases that the expenses have been really cut down for children who have been getting sick all the time.
They are malaria free.
They are malaria free.
And you say, what do you need? You have a film. You wanted to go to show it everywhere?
I want to show the film, yes.
And you say it is not allowed even in some countries.
Yes.
Tell me.
Well, first of all, our finances was German and Swiss and Austrian public television. Austria is showing it, ORF, but ARD and SRF, the German and Swiss television, are refusing to air it. The German editors said that Rehema is talking about a felt reality and she's not talking about facts, which was very shocking to me that she would say that. And it's so clear that she has so many years of experience and she speaks with such clarity about what she's doing and she explains it so well in the film. I was really shocked about this. And
how do they say that? They write you a letter and how do you know that?
I have this in writing, yes.
You have a writing?
Gefühlte Fakten. She's talking about gefühlte Fakten. Felt reality. These are not facts she's talking about. I assume it has to do with her skin color, but I cannot prove it, of course. It's just an assumption. I find it deeply racist to talk like that about somebody who's so dedicated to their work and so serious. And it's, to me, clear in the film that she knows what she's talking about, right?
So, meine liebe Damen und Herren, ich glaube, wir sind am Ende von unserer Sendung. Und die Sendung war auf Deutsch, auf Englisch.
Ja.
War auf Englisch, aber wir haben über ein Thema gesprochen und das Thema ist diese Pflanze hier. Und das ist Artemisia. Viele Leute haben immer gefragt, was ist Artemisia? Davon haben Leute geredet, die jetzt steht in unserem Studio hier. Und dabei ist eine Medizin gegen die Malaria und eventuell gegen Covid, sagt unser Gast hier. Und unser Gast auch hier hat einen Film darüber gedreht. Und die Frage, kannst du auf Deutsch eine Zusammenfassung machen, worüber geht in dem Film und genau, wo liegt das Problem?
Also es ist ein sehr kritischer Dokumentarfilm über Malaria und er erzählt aus der ostafrikanischen Perspektive und er versucht wirklich die üblichen Verdächtigen, die weißen Wissenschaftlerinnen, diesmal beiseite zu lassen und wirklich ostafrikanische Expertinnen sprechen zu lassen. Das ist vielleicht das Ungewohnte an dem Film. Und er läuft am 8. Juni im Top-Kino in Wien. Und eröffnet das Human Vision Festival in Dornbirn am 6. Juni. Und davor sind wir in Zürich, Basel und München und hoffen, dass wir weiterhin Leute erreichen können. Wir werden auch immer Pflanzen mithaben. Man kann Pflanzen und den Tee nach den Vorstellungen erwerben und man kann selbst Experimente damit machen.
Du bestätigst, dieses Pflanze hier kann gegen Malaria und Covid.
Ja. Bei unseren Dreharbeiten hat unser Team immer auf das gesetzt. Wir haben immer nur das als Prophylaxe genommen. Und wir waren doch 3-mal längere Zeit drehen in Uganda, Kenia und Tansania in starken Malariagebieten und haben als Team auch immer nur das genommen. Ja.
Die Frage dann ist da, wenn wir in Afrika Medizin oder Tabletten oder Rezept gegen Malaria und Covid haben, warum sterben immer noch Menschen wegen Malaria?
Die Malaria ist ein großes Geschäft. Das ist ein sehr verlässliches Geschäft, das seit Jahrzehnten wirklich viel Geld einbringt im globalen Norden.
Also hier, wir plädieren, dass diejenigen, die diese Sendung sehen, dass mehr diese traditionellen Doktors unterstützen, um gerade lokale Lösungen zu entwickeln.
Ich würde einfach sagen, alle Menschen haben inzwischen Zugang zum Internet, recherchieren. Es steht alles da. Es gibt Studien, die beweisen, dass Artemisia dem gängigen Artemisinin-Medikamenten überlegen ist. Es gibt einen wunderbaren Forscher aus dem Kongo, der hat das bewiesen. Es gibt auch Studien vom Max-Planck-Institut zu Artemisia und Covid, die werden allerdings nicht veröffentlicht. Ich glaube, es gibt einfach ein großes Interesse der Pharmaindustrie, die pflanzliche Medizin nicht hochkommen zu lassen.
Meine lieben Damen und Herren, dann schließen wir unsere Sendungen. Werde ich dich auch, Katharina, dass du in diesem Kamera schauen und ganz genau sagst, was du dir wünschst.
Ich möchte gerne, dass die Leute unsere Organisation Fight the Fever unterstützen. Plant the Seed, Fight the Fever ist unser Slogan. Wir wollen mit dieser Kampagne jetzt in Ostafrika mit dem Film auf Tour gehen und man kann auf Fieber Fighter, unserer Webseite, spenden. Das wünsche ich mir, dass wir diese Sache weiter betreiben können.
You will have the last word now, and I want to listen the last word, what is saying in your heart. What do you want that our people who are watching the TV, what do you want that they learn from today?
Yeah, first of all, I should say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come to this studio. And I encourage everyone to keep your health simple as possible when you are using such medicinal plants like Artemisia prophylactically, to help yourself to keep your immune system strong, to help your body and help your families. This is another encouragement to African community, like because in Africa we have so many people in the households, unlike here in Europe where I find 1 or 2 people in the house. But in Africa we have like 10 people in the household, and it becomes a big problem when they contract malaria. You find the whole family is being affected. So when you have the Artemisia tea, you use it prophylactically, you keep the immune system strong, you keep the body strong to resist any kind of common illness that will affect. So I wish the people here to support the program, to support Rehema and the program to help save many lives locally in Africa, in Uganda.
Afrika für Afrikaans, Afrika für Afrikaner, Afrikanerinnen. Meine liebe Damen und Herren, war unser Thema heute nur Anreiz, weil gerade das ist ein großes Thema. Da können wir nicht einmal denken, dass heute wir schöpfen das aus. Wir gehen davon aus, dass noch einmal diejenigen, die mehr Informationen brauchen, können sich auch bei uns anmelden und können wir wieder mal darüber noch reden. Und wir freuen uns, dass ihr angestellt habt. Bleibt uns treu und vielen Dank für das Anschalten. Ciao.
And most of the medicines used to treat malaria are not made in Africa. Who's making the profit?
If we remove malaria from Africa, Africa will jump out of poverty. They are waiting for another 30 million people to die to stop malaria in Africa using Artemisia.
Yes, I'm a farmer, and I'm proud of being a farmer. I added natural medicine to save lives.
That money that would go to medication, their parents would rather look for something for them to eat than take them to hospital.
Artemisia annua. Artemisia ARTEMISIA. Artemisia mwanikeni kono.